thank you for clicking on this video. I spent a lot of time and sanity points on it, and I hope you'll like it enough to like and subscribe and stay around.
You have something of mine. I'd like it back. Well, what's wrong with the one you have? It's my mother's. It's powerful, but it's not the same. Doesn't quite understand.
My parents don't understand me.
I fuck Germany. I think I can take a flesh lump in a fucking waistcoat.
Ah, Generalissimo.
Sometimes some movies or movie series stay in your mind for a really long time, despite you never having seen it. Some movies are all-time classics, while some just rot away forgotten, with maybe a shout out by some rando on the internet here and there. This is what I'm talking about today. And boy, let me tell you that I love this property. It's one of my all-time favorites. Something that I tend to revisit again and again each year. Something that enchants me greatly.
Here we go!
And also Harry Potter, which has left me feeling sick when I watched it for the first time in the past 2 weeks.
Afraid I may have sat on it at some point, but I imagine it'll taste fine just the same.
Yeah. Something that defines the greatest movies and the worst movies is that they tend to invoke a reaction. Something in your brain that is hard to describe, and something that a movie needs a lot of things to capture. I would say that it needs compelling characters, a story, a setting that is memorable, and a lot of other smaller things. In theory, each one is optional, but one needs to be present and has to be done well enough, in a sense, to replace the other two if they are lacking. Nobody would say that the basic premise of Harry Potter boiled down to its most essential elements is bad. A man is trying to kill you because your parents defeated him 10 to 20 years ago.
Destroy the world!
I tried so hard.
That is, in the very most basic of terms, the framework of Harry Potter. That framework is solid. What they did with it wasn't.
Voldemort's just standing in front of a green screen. Oh fuck.
Even elements from Harry Potter that I liked and that I think could be compelling, side characters like Hagrid, Snape, Neville elongated Derriere, are misused and underused, which, considering there are 8 movies in this series, you would think they'd be given enough time to shine. But no. Now, the bad part about making a series that's kind of a touchstone and something with a lot of pop culture behind it is that with enough time to be an influence on the shit around it, is that you eventually get stuff that does it better. And for me, that is the 2005 Disney movie Sky High. Never heard of it?
Freshman.
Of course, there's a case to be made that comparing something from a completely different culture arising from different circumstances to Harry Potter is silly.
Dry up, Dursley, you great prune.
But if JK Rowling thinks she can paint the US with the same brush as the UK, because like so many other Brits, she thinks the UK is 50 miles off of the coast of Maine instead of 20 kilometers off of the coast of fucking France.
Back to reality.
Big chungus.
Then I feel confident in comparing them. And Sky High proves that you can tell essentially a story with the same framework as Harry Potter in 1 or 2 hours instead of fucking 20.
Liar!
And for the purposes of that, I wrote up a list of similarities rewatching Sky High, and I will point out why Harry Potter is worse in every aspect. At least, to me. If you like it because it's a spectacle fest, then okay. And I will respond to most of these elements in order roughly corresponding to the order in which these elements are revealed to us in the first movie, or the series as a whole, and are therefore setting the tone and expectation for it. Also, keep in mind that a lot of these elements that I'm talking about are either downplayed or forgotten as the series goes on, because JK Rowling is a terrible writer. 1. Dangerous secret school nobody knows about. The titular
Sky high.
is a presumably one-of-a-kind high school for people with special powers that really only reveal themselves once they reach a certain age. The school is located on an anti-gravity platform, presumably provided by the Technomancers.
I'm a technopath. I can control technology with my mind.
Sorry, Technopaths that are part of the superhero world. It is in
Constant motion as a precaution against those who otherwise might have nefarious plans. Her location is supplied only to a handful of highly qualified individuals such as myself, Ron Wilson, bus driver,
etc., etc. Very succinctly explained, charming, and now in contrast, Hogwarts is a one-of-a-kind... Sorry. Hogwarts is one of many magic schools for young people with special powers that only really reveal themselves once they reach a certain age. The school is located in Scotland. Yeah, that's it.
You're fat, you're ugly, and you're stupid. Complete mug.
Side tangent. And yeah, okay, there is something on the wiki about why normal people can't see it. Well, I guess people can see it, but nobody likes exploring old castles, I guess. Really doesn't explain the train tracks, but fuck it. But that's the wiki, and I don't recall it ever being explained as memorably in the movies. Also, wait, there's an article about the no doubt more interesting American schools. Let me just... Wait, why do they also have houses? That seems like the most English thing to do. Snake, Pudge Wedgie. They should probably change that icon. Thunderbird, probably sponsored by Ford, they should change that on too. And Wampus? Wait, what the fuck? Sorry, it's all just this shitty deploy. It's just like going on a bad trip for me. I just can't stop. So where was I? Oh yeah, Scotland. Personally, when I found that out, I had to stop for a second. Growing up, I believed that Hogwarts and the entire magic world as a whole was located in some kind of pocket dimension or vague other world like Narnia, which can only be reached by this fucking train. Maybe even only reached by taking that portal in the column in King's Cross, and maybe a couple of other secret locations as well. But they just kind of sit in the real world, I guess. Even though they have pocket dimensions, so they can just fucking fly or drive there. They never really do reveal where the 9 3/4 is located physically. Is it like located like right next to King's Cross in like a little shack or something? Does it use standard British rail tracks? This seems nitpicky, but I was kind of curious about that because I distinctly remember LEGO creator Harry Potter answering this very question, in that the tracks just lay themselves throughout the countryside. Is that how this works? The movie doesn't really dwell upon it. What is that? That doesn't look like the ending bit of King's Cross. That is... Why is this train such a big part of the imagery for the series if it's so fucking underdeveloped? I guess kids don't really like world building or trains. They're not really gonna care even if you have an explanation that could potentially result in a memorable scene. Speaking of memorable scenes, for those superheroes that don't have flying-based powers, they just kind of fly there in an undercover bus which has rocket engines, and is driven by Ron Wilson, bus driver, one of the best characters in fiction.
Now, if I'm not back in 30 minutes...
Coming after you. Got it.
I was gonna say go get help.
Go get help. Got it. Sorry!
Excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where I might find platform 9 3/4?
9 3/4? Think you're being funny, do ya?
Same every...
I consider this dude the shit tier version of Ron Wilson. You know, as they say, every masterpiece has its cheap copy. God, there is something to be said about Harry Potter having a thing of like, haha, normal people can't see it, no, you can't see it. And it's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. It makes just every other normal character just look like a big fat idiot, the way they're presenting it in the movies. Ugh. Another side tangent. Remember the fucking housing thing from like the 5th movie? Where it's like, the house just kind of comes out of another house? First of all, that doesn't really make physical sense. Like, does it like clip through the geometry like it's a fucking Bethesda game or something? But on the other hand, it's like imagine like there's a fucking street in between those housing rows, and it's like somebody just happened to walk by as they fucking unfurled this house. Like, wouldn't, like, if they got squished, would it be their fault because they're a muggle and can't see it? I guess old lady Miss Johnson's just, fuck her up, she's a muggle, who cares? And if you think that's me exaggerating, like, in the fucking 5th movie at the beginning, with the stupid plot about, like, fucking Dursley kid, like, getting attacked by the Dementors, according to Harry Potter, he doesn't fucking see anything. They don't even make a fucking shot of, like, him just being attacked by nothing. Mostly because that would just look like fucking Patrick. but also it's like, haha, your fault, you got your soul. Like, imagine how fucking horrifying it is to get your soul stolen and become a shriveled fucking husk by something you couldn't even fucking see. Fucking Christ. Ugh. Side tangent over, back to Sky High. And if you're wondering why there are no fences on the school, then, well, they kinda don't need them. They even acknowledge that there are guidelines in place to not fall off the school.
If you can just remember those few simple rules, I promise you will not fall off the edge of the school. Now, just follow me inside for orientation.
Rules? What rules?
But even setting that aside, they have a school full of people who can fly, so there is no problem. Just swoop down there and rescue that person to fall off, get some extra credit. It's all building organically atop each other. Whereas in Harry Potter, because magic and inconsistent writing, plans...
The mandrake's cry is fatal to anyone who hears it.
Excellent! 10 points to Gryffindor!
The very architecture, magic wildlife that somehow doesn't escape. Spoilers, it did. And the very sports they play, which by the way are supposedly a metaphor for life, can kill you. But having a werewolf as a teacher is too dangerous.
It seems that somebody let slip the nature of my condition. This time tomorrow, the owls will start arriving, and parents will not want well, someone like me teaching their children. Well, let's just say that I'm used to it by now.
Whiny bitch. Admittedly, Sky High also has some of those haha, what, implying people got killed jokes.
Your citizen has just been mulched because you failed to defeat your villain.
Remember when we used to use real citizens? Yes. Yes.
But Sky High never had such a drastic shift in tone as Harry Potter, and it never really feels as odd as it does in Harry Potter. Then again, if something bad happens to one of the important characters, then JK Rowling can just swoop down and pull something out of her ass because it's magic. Yeah, unless it's clearly supposed to be a fucking father figure for Harry, in which case, yep, you're gonna fucking die. Fucking happened to Snape, Dumbledore, his actual father, and of course, Sirius Black.
Dagger.
And talking about main characters, 2. The main character is hyped up by everyone. Harry Potter is a legend.
Dumbledore, what's happened? He's back. He's back. Voldemort's back. Cedric, he asked me to bring his body back. I couldn't leave him. Not that.
It's all right, Harry. It's all right. He's home.
Except when he isn't and doesn't know at all what he's talking about. That's not me saying that. That's literally what the 5th movie hinges upon.
The evidence that the Dark Lord has returned is incontrovertible. He stopped Monk.
Did they just ignore that the last movie happened? A dead Batman, really excited about that by the way, yeah, woo, doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Everybody knows him because at 1 year old, he destroyed the evil Batman villain, Thomas Riddle. No, seriously, that's what these movies end up going with after a while. Literal little special Barbie. He basically has infinite money in gold bars.
Didn't think your mum and dad would leave you with nothing though, did you?
Except then he doesn't, and that plot point never comes back. It's supposedly stolen by Tom, but we never really see what, if anything, he does with it, unless that suit counts, which he never again wears. And also, this is a dream sequence. It's literally just there and it disappears within the first, 20 minutes of the movie. Honestly, I think it would have been better if Hagrid, out of goodwill, just paid for Harry's school supplies out of pocket, and Harry got a scholarship based on his parents' credentials. But that would have been kind of heartwarming. And also, I guess it would have just primed Hagrid to be the first victim of that father figure curse, huh? Side note, I really love this big cuddly bear man. Too bad he just kind of gets shelved because he kind of represents that lightheartedness of the first couple of movies, and we can't have that, you know?
Ain't no one gonna get past Fluffy. Ain't a soul knows how, except for me and Dumbledore. I shouldn't have told you that. I should not have told you that.
We are being told that Harry's parents were these great and powerful wizards, but we never actually see them do anything.
Expelliarmus!
Nice one, James. James, finish him up.
Impedimenta! Right, who wants to see me take off Snively's trousers?
Enough. Enough.
This is about as much magic as we see them do during the fucking movies. And basically everybody's doing the Expelliarmus thing. And the levitating shit, wow, great. Literally the first fucking lesson in the first fucking movie. You're a bitch, Snake. So for all we know, they could have just worked at the local Costco Tesco on the corner, and everybody just really appreciated their customer service. But oh no, they died when Harry was 1 year old. So now for most of his life he was forced to stay with his evil aunt and uncle, who are painfully underutilized, and are so quickly glossed over that it genuinely makes you wonder if they actually ever sent Harry to school or kindergarten in the first place before the owl came.
Why don't you just cook the breakfast and try not to burn anything?
Yes, Aunt Petunia.
Side note, why the fuck didn't they just send Harry to an orphanage? Hagrid clearly knew that Dursley was an asshole, so it's like, why the fuck did she agree to it? Oh no. Well, there's still the idea of child adoption. In fact, why the fuck didn't you just stay with the fucking Weasleys?
You hungry, Harry?
You clearly have a child that's younger than Harry, so it's clearly not the problem of just caring for one more. I mean, wouldn't he be more prepared if he was staying among wizards instead of just some random people who would instantly get fucking killed if Voldemort just came back? But yeah, I guess throw logic out the window, because then you too can engage in fucking escapism of an owl coming to you after you've never met your dead parents who are secretly powerful wizards.
Is that Harry Potter world? Hufflepuff? I knew it!
Nerd alert.
Congratulations, you just witnessed the only good joke in Space Jam 2. Don't watch that movie, it sucks!
You son of a bitch.
May I just say it, it's genuinely really hard to gauge the power level of these wizards, because all they do is just memorize Latin words and seem to point sticks. How anyone can do that with more power is beyond me. Couldn't you just memorize all the Latin words Dumbledore and Voldemort know, and point your stick like they do? Can somebody explain to me where magical animals come from, or why I have the power of hypnosis and mind reading? Like, at what stage between the primordial soup and now did magic come into the equation? Where are there magic cats and others that aren't? This is Proilurus lemonensis, believed to be the first ancestor of all cats. How the fuck did we get from that to this horrible CG abomination? Whoa. Wait, oh my fucking god.
I've always loved wolves. The world would be just a cooler place if, I don't know, if they could be bipedal wolves and
why am I suddenly in furry hell? Oh yeah, that should do it.
Possum!
What about humans? Where did they get magic powers? Is this like AIDS, where somebody just ate magic flesh and now a small section of humanity has to deal with it? And I know somebody's gonna say, well, what about Sky High? And I'ma shoot back that we haven't really heard of superhero dynasties older than 3 generations.
Your grandfather finally trusted me enough to give me the key to his secret sanctum. Of course, in those days, we still used keys. Go ahead, son. I already added your biometrics this morning.
Which would have roughly corresponded to the time of Castle Bravo, Los Alamos, etc., and that in the movie toxic waste as a way to gain superpowers is a running joke.
The kids who get bit by radioactive insects or fall into a vat of toxic waste, their powers usually show up the next day. Or they die. Oh, look at...
So I'd say it's fair to assume that it's all in them rats, girl.
Oh yeah, and Ron Wilson, bus driver, fell into a vat of toxic waste. He now works for the mayor defending the city from giant robots.
Which is actually kind of cool, because that means that superheroes in that world really have only existed for about as long as superhero comics have in our world. Which is just new enough to explain why it hasn't impacted the development of human civilization that much. But I'm not done comparing. Will Stronghold is a regular teenage boy from next door, who just happens to be the son of the greatest pair of superheroes ever.
All I see is my dad wearing tights. Don't get me wrong, it can be cool to have superhero parents. Like when mom picks up awesome takeout on her way home from work.
Both being elements of Superman combined with stuff like Batman.
No way. You got a pool table? How about the pinball machine?
And accordingly, everybody expects him to do great things and live up to his parents' legacy.
What do you mean you don't know what your power is? Oh, I got it. You're messing with the coach. Just like your old man. Garp.
Are you insane? I don't have super strength.
He, however, is sent to school without powers, only really developing them as the movie goes on. And because of that, His parents are disappointed because he tricked them into believing he already had powers so that they wouldn't be disappointed in him. And he is sorry. They are understanding and support him. So Will and his father have a really nice relationship. Meanwhile at school, everybody makes fun of him because the son of the greatest superheroes ever became a lowly sidekick. However, as the movie goes on, he develops his powers, fame comes to him, but it's fickle, and high school popularity isn't everything.
Leave them alone!
He's strong.
I'm strong?
He's super strong.
And he learns to stand up for himself and the people around him, to do the right thing. He had a normal life and a best friend since kindergarten who actually tags along on the adventure, thus in some way tying both halves of Will's life together. Harry Potter basically had no life before the beginning of the movie. Well, the Dursleys shoved Harry into the closet, JK Rowling just pulled him out of there, and there you go. He basically has no personality, no friends, no enemies. He's just there.
Yes, Aunt Petunia.
But don't worry, he will make both friends and enemies when the letter comes. Kinda. Number 3. Boy that's not as bad as he initially appears.
And I'm Malfoy. Draco Malfoy.
Regular fucking James Bond, aren't you, you little shithead? Draco Malfoy is ass, never ever really being Harry's main source of conflict or any kind of ally, despite what his reputation led me to believe. And as the wonderful procrastinator, who was kind enough to read over the script, cheers, pointed out multiple times, he is, as we say here in Germany, hobbylos alter Ischere. He eventually just gets sadder and sadder and more pathetic. Apart from teasing and being a shit, he never really becomes the villain. This is the way he turns out to be not as bad as he initially appears. Not because he becomes better, but because he's neglected by the writer. I wish he was in more of it. It's a no-brainer move of having a character with a shitty parent situation that kind of mirrors Harry's. War and Peace, haha, get it, is not Tyler Lautner, even though he kind of looks like him. But it isn't him because at the time he was in Sharkboy and Lava Girl and like 12. He is the son of one of the biggest enemies of Will Stronghold's father, whom is now in prison, so already there's this underlying sense of conflict.
His mom's a hero and his dad's a supervillain. They're in battle.
So where do I come in?
Your dad busted his dad. Quadruple life sentence.
No chance of parole until after his 3rd life.
That's great. It's my first day of Sky High and I already have an archenemy.
He's basically a cooler version of the Human Torch, who has long hair, wears leather, and just through and through is the epitome of 2000s cool to me. He eventually gets into talking with Will's childhood best friend.
You want me to heat that up for you?
You're not supposed to use your powers outside of school.
I was just gonna stick it in the microwave.
And enters his circle of friends unwittingly by the end of the movie. And the stuff about their fathers isn't really relevant to either of them at the end. Unlike Harry Potter, whom half of his personality revolves around the parents that died when he was 1 year old. Number 4, class division.
My judgment is final, so there will be no whiner babies.
Harry Potter is a series that I think always missed the point of what it should have been about. While Sky High's main characters reject their class structure and social barrier in favor of pursuing freedom, liberty, each to their own accord without it being forced upon them what they are and can do.
There's only one person authorized to transport superheroes, and that's Ron Wilson, bus driver. And I'm Ron Wilson, bus driver.
Why don't we just call them what they really are, Josie? Heroes.
Harry Potter has class barriers in place because it's cute. Okay, it's actually less of traditional classism and more of systematic prejudice and putting people into boxes on a mass scale, but you get what I mean. Because a hat can definitely determine what kind of person you are. Well, sort of, not really, because it also listens to your input and blah 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 blah. I think there's a word for it, but I'm not gonna use it for fear of sounding like an NPC or Rick and Morty. Okay, but I still feel I need to elaborate. First off, the Sorting Hat. He's up there with Hagrid as the most charming character in the first movie. But then again, if you deal with fucking personality vacuums, that tends to happen. And it's not really his fault that he's attached to this generic YA trope of a system of what clique you are. But it's kind of saying something that this entire world seemingly can't function without either putting you in the arbitrary joke.
What the fuck is a Hufflepuff? Why don't they just call them the Badgers?
Villain.
I'm a snag.
Protagonist, fucking personality vacuums, or utterly irrelevant box.
Oh, don't you talk about my boxes! I like boxes!
I mean, there are entire videos talking about why the houses are bad, or how the attributes that supposedly make members of these houses, what they are basically synonymous with another thing from another house. But in the end, it's all just there to put up video game class. See, I still made the title work. Division. And just for any of you assholes who genuinely care, I took 2 different tests, and one placed me in Lionsgate, and the other one in Flufflepuff Badgertown. Shows you how accurate all of this stuff really is. Oh wait, I took a 3rd one, asking me my favorite breakfast drink, and it told me fucking Puffle shit again. I guess there you have your answer. I am the joke. Actually, you know what? That doesn't really surprise me. Please subscribe. Come to think of it, did we actually ever interact with the other 2 houses? I mean, oh well, yes we do. Neville, the fucking joke character, is in the fucking joke house. No wait, he isn't. And Hermione isn't in the smart house. So what the fuck's the point of these fucking houses, you bigoted English bitch? Sky High's world takes it for granted that people with amazing powers use them to benefit mankind, and that those people use them to defend everybody against the people with amazing powers that went to act like rogues, only working for themselves to carve out power. The division between sidekicks and heroes is a bit fucky, which is also something they acknowledge.
You will go through power placement and your own heroic journey will begin.
Power placement?
Sounds fascist.
We will leave, but if we could.
But it makes sense considering this is more of a general approach to their usefulness and potential as a hero from the outset. At least when it comes to the natural superhuman abilities that they are born with.
Hero.
In fact, I would say the sidekicks may be getting a better deal, because intentional parallels to common superhero tropes aside.
You Steve's son?
Yeah.
And he never mentioned me to you.
I don't think so.
Gay relationships are the fucking worst, dude. Way too much fucking drama. You know it's true. Theoretically, the sidekicks get toward more practical, universal knowledge of tactics and organization, thus in theory having the potential to become a more Batman-like hero. Once again, Sky High is the setting, working off of the idea of overcoming boundaries, to become super, in a way, and not about making boundaries fashionable. In Harry Potter's world, people with amazing powers have a racial slur.
Complete mug.
And wouldn't possibly think about using their powers for the positive of mankind, because mankind isn't a concept to them. It's only muggles and non-muggles, mages and no-pats. I mean, no-mage, just... This isn't even me going into the stupidity of the conflict between fucking Voldemort's idea of like, the magic pureblood, Aryan wizards, or some bullshit. No, this is me talking about the wizarding community outside of Voldemort or the eating deathers. I think the way this is supposed to go is that only the race, blood-minded, whatever wizards shit-talk normal people stuff and make a big fucking beeline around it, making them some kind of regressive minority. But that really doesn't come through since everything in the wizarding world is old-timey sort of, and even though the following line was meant as a joke, it says more than 1,000 words about the wizarding community, considering Ron Weasley's dad is supposedly deeply fascinated by muggle stuff.
Right? Dad works in the Ministry of Magic, in the Misuse of Muggle Artifacts Office. Dad loves muggles, thinks they're fascinating.
You must know all about muggles. Tell me, what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
In what fucking world are you living, dude?
Now, Beaver, you were trucking with a rubber duck, and I'm about to pull a plug on your drain.
Breaker Pig fan, this here's duck again.
The magic people find the idea so impossible that they could learn from muggles that they, these superhumans, proceeded to shut themselves off from the wider world. As far as I can recall, in 8 movies, there was only one positive interaction out of the very few Harry had between himself and non-magic affiliated muggles that aren't the Dursleys. Harry had this one little cute interaction with the black girl in a tube restaurant.
Harry Potter. Who's Harry Potter?
Oh, no one. Bit of a toss-up, really.
Funny, that paper of yours. A couple nights ago, I could have sworn I saw a picture move.
Really?
Thought I was going around a twist.
Hey, I was wondering.
11. That's when I get off. You can tell me all about that tosser Harry Potter.
Then Goddledor cockblocks him.
Do as I say.
And that's it. I try to look out for shit like that, but nope. He mostly just interacts with magic people or creatures. Makes you wonder why this isn't just Lord of the Rings, again. Doesn't this upset anyone but me? Why do you like this? Why do you like these people? Why do you like these sad, stuck-up, regressive, isolationist, xenophobic ideologues?
Move over, Ayn Rand. JK Rowling's here with her witty political satire and shitty writing.
You broke the spell!
I'm skipping 5 since that's a smaller thing, but again, short story, the big brain guy and Coach Boomer from Sky High are more interesting and fun characters than Severing Snake and the other assholes. Sorry, Maggie Smith, should have signed on for a better movie series.
What if I said it's not just her twin, it's her evil twin?
This Friday, you say?
Methuselah, you dog.
Complexion like peaches and cream. Give her 2 lips like roses and clover.
You said that?
True story.
You're so funny.
I love life. Thanks, Boom, for inviting me.
I'm just saying, it's really funny seeing Ashley Williams get out-alphaed by a big mountain scientist by way of Sheldon Cooper.
Hey, Mr. Peace.
Yeah?
Regrettably, I have made Boom Boom.
Bazinga!
Number 6. Main character getting guided into the secret world by others because he has no context of it. Okay, this might be a bit tenuous, since Will Stronghold probably was prepped in some way for Sky High, and his parents being known to him as superheroes, as well as being known to him in general, might put the validity of that comparison into question.
Retarded wizard in the forest.
But, as I said before, I think the real world, the Muggle world, is so underutilized, with the main happenings having such little ties to it, that it might as well not exist and be something else, some kind of actual fantasy world. I think it'd only make it stronger to not have that cynical, nothing really matters but our wizards angle. I mean, our world, our culture, all of humanity, which also includes you, JK Rowling, by the way, you fucking muggle, not mattering, and everybody being mean and terrible anyway, which is kind of what we see in the movies, is just, to me, a terrible mind space.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
As well as just a bit of a refusal to establish the main character having a relatable or at least understandable status quo that could be shaken up when the owl actually arrives. I guess I'm supposed to fill in the blanks myself, but I don't want to and I didn't want to compare anyone in my real life to these fucking cartoon characters. Not to mention I have kind of a serious beef with the wizarding world that's actually presented here.
What exactly are these things?
They're small little guys with big noses that run all our finances, Harry. I should not have said that. I have such a big beef with it, in fact, that the recording for this section initially ended up being 20 minutes, so I rewrote it, sadly losing what I thought were some really funny jokes along the way. The buildings in which they seem to be living in seem to all be crooked, dank, and decrepit, presumably because they haven't been renovated since the time of the fucking Kaiser. Or Queen Victoria, I guess. What do you mean there's a different one now? But just to kind of give you a taste of the tone and my line of thinking towards the world building in Harry Potter, as well as just the writing quality in general, let me read something from the Harry Potter wiki and then show you a clip to convey why JK Rowling's wizarding world is just pompous, repugnant, and most of all just poorly written to me. This is by far still the longest section in this video, and I can't nearly cover everything as much as I want to, but I hope you can still appreciate me trying. From the Harry Potter website section on ghosts, written by the woman herself, JK Rowling. In the magical wizarding world of Harry Potter, a ghost is the transparent three-dimensional imprint of a deceased witch or wizard, which continues to exist in the mortal world. Muggles cannot come back as ghosts, and the wisest witches and wizards choose not to. Wait, so you can choose whether or not you come back as a ghost? It is those with unfinished business, whether in the form of fear, guilt, regrets, or overt attachment to the material world, who refuse to move on to the next dimension. Wait, hold on, dimension what?
Where the fuck do they go? Do they go to like 4D smell-o-vision?
Marty, it's perfect. You're just not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Right, I have a real problem with that.
Also, again, you're making it sound like they chose to become a ghost. Were they like dying and it was like, yes, I am going to become a ghost? Like, what about fear? What about if they are afraid of becoming a ghost and then by proxy becoming a ghost? And also, what about the fucking ghosts that seem perfectly fucking happy in the fucking movies? It's like, God, fucking damn, not only is that a can of worms, but it's also fucking inconsistent.
Hello! How are you? Welcome to Gryffindor.
But no, JK Rowling says they're all in pain.
Muggles who insist that they see ghosts and perfect focus are either A, lying, or B, wizards showing off in a flagrant breach of the International Statute of Secrecy. Clip.
Nearly every culture on Earth has a relationship with the unreal, some implicit understanding that death is not the end. In Japan, many survivors of the 2011 earthquake and tsunami believe that their epidemic of ghosts was somehow related to how their friends, family, and neighbors died. The rushing waters took them before they were ready, and now restless, ethereal forms wandered in their place. When faced with death and destruction beyond your ability to describe, it's understandable, maybe even inevitable, that grief and trauma express themselves in ways that you simply cannot explain logically. It is not uncommon, says Dr. Charles R. Figley of the School of Social Work at Tulane University, for fellow survivors to have common reactions, be they sounds, smells, or paranormal sightings. Ghosts, he says, are more tolerable than the void created by death.
I say they're just lying. Wizards can only see ghosts. What the fuck is with this world? It's like a regular person just can't see something. Like, no, it's a fucking liar. It's just seeking attention. That's what this entire world's based on.
By the way, this is real. And I'm not saying that JK Rowling actively means to shit talk these grieving people. I'm just saying that her putting all these far out concepts like magic, ghosts, dragons, and all myriad of magical creatures into her world, and then barely thinking about all the implications they would have, is a constant. From the scarily regressive and scarily intrusive wizarding government, over the intense sexual relationships of kids' characters, and the house elf slave race, to the living hell of being a living painting, living in this weird two-dimensional dimension, world, whatever, that they just choose to gloss over.
Sir Cadogan's portrait is forever challenging people to duels and constantly falling off horses clumsily. This is how he was perceived by the wizard who was painting him. These portraits are snapshots of someone's personality, but they're very two-dimensional both physically and figuratively.
He was just a two-dimensional creature, lost in our three-dimensional aquatic world, longing for a purpose.
So, he's a drawing?
Exactly. See how happy he is?
He still looks kinda creepy.
As well as various other things. I think you get the point. It's all very distracting. And sure, a lot of this stuff is in the books, and also a lot of the stuff isn't. But unlike with Sky High, no matter what you watch, no matter how much you interact with Harry Potter, you never really feel like it's enough, unless you actively stop yourself from asking questions, regardless of how many this franchise raises. Is asking those questions worth it? No. Is it satisfying to know the answers? No. But I personally can't help myself.
Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome, also known as Asperger's.
Even when I'm playing devil's advocate, asking myself more questions, like if I'm too harsh on this series and JK Rowling, asking myself if all that I've been talking about is random background stuff that I'm basically just mad patting. As I'm researching this, I found out that the entire deal of the Blue Roger from the 1999 Ben Stiller comedy Mystery Men.
Your boy's a limey fork flinger, mother hard cheese to swallow, I know, but there it is.
You've seen it.
I'd say there's potential.
Was that he was a temporary Horcrux, and between Harry's parents' death and the first movie, Tom used animals as Horcruxes, with them acting as stepping stones for regeneration. Is the reason why I didn't know this what I would call crucial detail in the first movie? Because I didn't pay enough attention? Or I'm just too much of a hater? My judgment too clouded with rage at what other people would call irrelevant world-building stuff to represent these movies accurately? No, it's because JK Rowling only revealed that on a fucking website in 2012, and I'm only reading that now on the wiki. As mentioned with the odd contrast with the ghosts, she likes to reread her stuff after she published it. You've heard this. I mean, gay Dumbledore might be the big thing, but it's everywhere with this shit. It's even worse when it's actually interesting shit like that, which would have been actually cool had it been in the original work. And I feel like a lot of the questions are hard to ignore because instead of thinking about weaving a compelling narrative, a lot of what she does is just taking the first draft and rolling with it, instead of putting together a planned world. At least that's what it feels like, and the fact is that it just takes too long for the main shit that I actually know this series for to get going. I mean, Jesus was probably a wizard. Christ, I didn't even hear the word Horcrux until 6 movies in. That's why questions are so hard to ignore. I feel like instead of dropping hints or building something up from the beginning, I'm just getting shit dropped in my lap every movie, and that just makes my brain just go to weird different places because I just do not care. Seriously, I would really like to know what happened to Voldemort's fucking nose. Maybe it got fucking lost somewhere when they switched actors. It's like that thing with the new Star Wars is if you change director, tone, and plan every movie, it just ends up feeling like a big pile of shit. Especially if you then pick a shit director and let him direct the rest of this fucking franchise for the rest of time. If you don't trust me, I also got this random Indian guy to confirm my opinion. He's from a Commonwealth country, he's probably gonna be able to get down with this Brit bullshit a lot more than my crowd ass. Bruh.
But the cherry on the cake is that Warner eventually settled on this guy, David Yates, who is the most boring, lackluster and unimaginative director of the bunch. Not only did he manage to take one of the most imaginative stories and make it as boring as possible, but also he got to make 4 of those. Well, okay, he's not totally bad, but he's definitely the worst thing to happen to the Harry Potter franchise.
Please watch his entire video, it's really good.
Yum!
It's incredibly odd having had a better telling of the story via cultural osmosis. I thought this was going to be like kid learns magic to fight evil guy. But that's not really that. Tommy just drops off the face of the earth for most of these, thus standing in the way of an actual arc of him growing more powerful alongside Harry, or having actually interesting underlings. God, I'm trying not to mention Avatar, but fuck, I'd be fine if I killed Sirius Black, lol lady. Beautiful tricks of the strange. Bella was like Azula levels of cool character, but she's not.
You miscalculated. I love Zuko more than I fear you. No, you miscalculated! You should have feared me more! All your life, you've used fear to control people.
Well, what choice do I have? Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way. Even you fear me.
Okay, so unless Nickelodeon forced me to cut it, remember how I in a minute showed you Azula's entire character arc of book 3, and you immediately got the idea what's going on and might even have felt something? I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing of what happened with Helena Bonham Carter in her on-screen performances.
We like to troll.
She's there, screams, there's a shaky cam, Voldemort tells Harry to join the dark side by killing her.
She killed him. She deserves it.
Do it. And then she dies like a movie or 2 later with Harry's mom cashing in one of the PG-13 swears.
Not my daughter, you bitch!
I guess she's a bad guy, so all she can do is be a witch stereotype and die. Cool. And this isn't a character-driven fish out of water story either. He already has friends the minute he steps onto the train.
Excuse me. Do you mind? Everywhere else is full. Not at all.
And a lot of the stuff he learns doesn't feel like it's relevant by the end of the last one. He goes back to the Dursleys, doesn't talk about his home life, to the teachers or his friends, and doesn't display any kind of signs of abuse even. Unless you count a permanent sense of detachment. Or, you know, that thing where somebody teases Harry for his parents whom he never really knew dying, and he throws a pubescent bitch fit, which feels about as smoothly inserted as when they introduced that whole "nobody calls me chicken" thing into Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Nobody calls me Chicken.
In fact, you know how that kind of had an arc to it too, where Marty learns to get over it, so he never gets into that accident that prevents him from becoming a rock star?
About 30 years ago, your father tried to prove he wasn't chicken, and he ended up in an automobile accident.
Oh, you mean with the Rolls Royce?
What's the matter? Chicken?
I would have hit that Rolls Royce.
Imagine that background arc, but a quarter as developed and done over like 6 movies. That's what all the overarching stuff in Harry Potter feels like. 10 different things developed to 10%. I mean, seriously, why did I have to look on a wiki to get a comprehensive understanding of how Voldemort actually came back? It doesn't make him more mysterious, it just makes it feel like there's a big hole in your story. Even Sky High filled that one in.
When the pacifier exploded, I wasn't destroyed. I was merely turned into a baby.
Oh my god. I mean, I was an old lady.
I think Sky High is better by default because it has brevity on its side. I've already kind of alluded to it, but the first one is kind of on top of the tier list. Because if you look at it on its own, it's a decent kids movie at the very least. It's allowed to have fun and actually kind of earns the right to ignore large parts of the fuckery that I'm not willing to let the later serious movies get away with. Just because it has some whimsy, some fucking color in it. I mean, who cares if there's some wonky stuff going on the world building front, or the writing not being perfect? I mean, are you really petty enough to cinema send this cute little kids movie just because you want to feel superior? I mean, it's only one movie after all. Right? I mean, what expectations do you have when it comes to Harry Potter? Seriously, am I in the wrong here for having high expectations when it comes to this series? The second one's a decent sequel, even if its villain is kinda dumb.
Voldemort is my past, present, and future.
Bruh, Harry, are you seeing this? Look at my clever boy anagram.
You dork. Go back to the chess club.
Does old Tom even know what his 16-year-old self is up to? And does it impact Voldemort's larger agenda? Except for having part of his soul die with the pretty boy, which is something we don't really find out until the Horcruxes are even properly introduced. No, it doesn't. And then the third one happens and there's this anorexic-ass whiny werewolf.
Which one of you can tell me the difference between an animagus and a werewolf?
That's a bit sussy!
We know you're the sus imposter.
People like me are... Well, let's just say that I'm used to it by now.
I guess there was a reason why we focused on the American werewolf in London and not the English one. Though I still prefer the German one. Serious, black's a thing, I guess.
Hey, dog. Where's Harry? It's a trap. He's the dog. He's an animagus.
Sus imposter.
And the tone starts to shift, but it's still somewhat decent. Has some cool shots, and honestly, it's like my second favorite actually, just because there's some visually interesting shit going on. You know, until it ruins it with the last 40 minutes where there's some shoehorned in time travel shit, which then never gets used again because it would solve literally the entire franchise, proving that once again JK Rowling can't write for shit.
This is a time turner, Harry. I wish I was draped down!
Then the fourth one happens, there's a Quidditch Cup.
I can't stop this feeling.
Against Cedric and Diggory appears.
We'll meet again, Spider Monkey!
Nigga.
There's some stupid games that nobody cares about with French girls wearing chapeau de sang.
Awesome rocking tits.
Of course they would be French. Then there's stupid communists from a school with a stupid pun on a German literary movement, which is weird because JK Rowling doesn't give a fuck about Germany. There's fuck all here. You know, with Germany being famous for its fairy tales, you'd expect JK Rowling to have written more about it, but I guess JK Rowling can't help being fucking English. Also, the school isn't in Germany, so what the fuck? And then Cedric and Diggory dies at the end of the movie in a pitiful attempt at raising the stakes.
Get a job, nigger.
Who are you? What do you want? Kill the spare!
Avada Kedavra!
No! Cedric!
and that's it. Then these movies fully commit to becoming this boring 2000s blue filter, mostly color muted, boring ass mess that completely loses me because they switch between a half-hearted A-plot and an out-of-nowhere Voldemort plot in the last 40 minutes, usually. And at the end, I am left with the feeling that Harry, apart from physically aging, which isn't special, everybody does that, and him defaulting from happy face to angsty face, nothing about his character changed over the course of these movies. He's just such a hollow vessel in this journey throughout this stupid wizarding world, which I think, beyond the big iconography, i.e. the thing that goes diagonally, the weirdo train in the shed and the castle, feels just really small, just because nothing else feels important in the grand scheme of things.
Top of the morning to you ladies, my name is Jacksepticeye.
And we never really go to any really interesting locations for any lengthy amount of time. It's strictly either hog place or not hog place, and again, 8 movies can make any place feel really boring and mundane. And the absence of that feeling of holisticity that I've been talking about throughout this video just exacerbates that for me. Tell me you wouldn't like to see a Magic Potterverse movie that's actually about all that dragon bullshit they set up throughout the movies. I feel like a broken record again, but JK Rowling teases something and then never follows up upon it.
My favorite number is 7.
Main villain, who has a non-threatening sidekick, is also out to get the main character because their parents destroyed the main villain some 10 to 15 years ago. Is the main plot of Harry Potter to defeat Voldemort? And would it be that great liberation JK Rowling and the fans seemingly think it is? My answers to these questions are yes, albeit tenuously, and no, respectively. I really am trying to reconcile my thoughts on the Harry Potter government and society. It's been a huge part of what made the making of this video so hard, and kind of was what that Queen Victoria joke was about. So let me know in the comments if you want me to take that apart. I've got plenty enough material on it. The basic gist is that reading up upon it and between the lines, it's oppressive and feels like a weird pseudo-ethno-religious proto-nationalist cult that's poorly characterized, super sketchy, and isn't followed up on in any kind of story sense. Again, without going into too much detail, it strikes me as a weird shadow state GDR kind of thing without any kind of accountability, watchdog groups, or willingness to modernize rather than this Churchillian ideal that JK Rowling wants me to believe it is.
These are dark times, there is no denying. Our world has perhaps faced no greater threat than it does today. But I say this to our citizenry. We, ever your servant, will continue to defend your liberty and repel the forces that seek to take it from you. Your ministry remains strong.
After all, we're still talking about a state built around isolationism against basically the entire world because of the fear of the other. Everyone else is stupid and malicious but are socialists, I mean wizards. The main motivation of Tom, and the reason he's threatening to them, not very much in general, is because he's only slightly more racist than everybody else. They talk guff about blood and vague entry-level eugenics, but that's more of a symptom of the problem to me. They say something about wizards born to normal people being weaker, but from the first movie on, we see that that's not true because that's what Hermione is, and she gets praised to hell and back. And that feels less like people doubting actually a character's abilities. This is just literally fucking people being stupid, and I hate it. Again, fake racism is so hard to make it feel justified. Again, if this was like a secret thing of like, oh no, we can't let Muggle thought get into the magic system, that would be something, but that's never really touched upon. In fact, let me remind you that JK Rowling wants these things to be separate, even though that seems like the worst thing we could fucking do with this story. Good god, get a load of this. Mixed race marriages between magical and non-magical folk was illegal under this law until 1965 when the law was repealed. Okay, so you're aware of the parallels and implications to real-world segregationism, but you're still not gonna fucking change anything about it. Okay, cool. What's your favorite thing about Harry Potter, minus the apartheid?
How incredibly fortunate I was to live in a country with a democratically elected government, where legal representation and a public trial were the rights of everyone.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
I know I've made stupid jabs at JK Rowling throughout this video, but I genuinely think this woman is delusional on what she actually wrote. Heck, I don't even know what she wrote, at least in the sense that I have no idea whom this shit is aimed at, or why the fuck I should care. The plot is too long and boring and self-serious for kids, and I feel too stupid for adults, not to mention inconsistent. I know she's not fully responsible for how these movies themselves turned out, but she did have, to my knowledge, enough to help set the general direction. It's her material after all, and her material is what doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And of course, David Yates is there too to fuck shit up, but bear with me. Narnia and Sky High make sense. In Narnia, there's an incredibly diverse group of, among other things, centaurs, satyrs, sentient animals, okay, cool, all going against the magical ice despot, blanketing Narnia in endless winter.
Hello, cutie pie.
Cool, colorful, something for all the family. You really get a feeling that everybody's coming together to fight this. You really get a feeling that this world is being oppressed.
I have no interest in prisoners. Kill them all.
In Sky High, you have a group of underdogs and rebels going against one evil bitch wanting to babyfy superheroes and raise them as villains. Makes sense, just good old American fun. You never really get a feeling that there's this large, big world, but then again, this isn't a large, big world. This is a small story. And Harry Potter can't decide whether or not it wants to be big or small. I have the feeling it's the best when it's small, but when it gets actually larger, like JK Rowling seemingly wants it to be, it just falls apart. In Harry Potter, you have a kind of loose and confusing confederation of people fighting for old fogies who want segregation for their kind and slavery versus a coalition of a bunch of things wanting outright extermination of 7 billion normal people. Good luck, I guess? I mean, at least that's what I think is going on. From what I can decipher, they honestly just want to remove any kind of normal people influence from the magic world, which again, stupid goal because that's already few and far between. On the wiki it says even having one fucking magic bus was controversial. Not an entire magic bus system, but one bus. Because that's Muggle technology. From my point of view, nothing would have changed either way. Again, beyond the fucking cool wizarding aesthetic, where the newest technology they seemingly have is from the late 30s, their society is hundreds of years behind everybody else. Or at least like the worst aspects of the 30s in the West. I mean, your elves look like fucking concentration camp inmates, like holy fuck. What's the point of any of this? There's a flash forward where Harry seemingly hasn't induced any change in the society from what we can see, and that's it. I've been thinking about this for 2 months now, and I still don't get how this is supposed to be awesome. At least not more awesome than this. Closing thoughts. I want to go back to what I said about what makes good media versus bad media. I have enjoyed bad media. I have even had a better time hate watching shit. Looking at you, Ready Player One.
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego.
My name is Bruce Spider-Man. My name is like a superhero name, get it? My life sucks until I become an anime boy.
But while shit like that sucked, it's somehow not on the good side of pop culture, like Harry Potter is. You know, being pushed by corporations, a fandom with a large influence on 2000s internet.
I was really suspicious of Cameron. He wasn't wearing real Hufflepuff gear.
He didn't buy the merch. That means he's not a real fan.
Isolation is a fanfiction about a budding romance between Draco and Hermione.
Yeah, of course I read it. It's a classic.
Etc. And because of that, I can't help but have trouble really getting to grips with this series, or why it's still so begrudgingly popular. I have established that the writing is bad multiple times, the world building is garbage, elements are dropped, resulting in the last movie feeling hollow, visually and tonally it's a mixed affair, the writer ruins it by just not knowing when to stop, etc. So after all, why is it still so popular? Nostalgia? The aesthetic that I still personally think is inferior to an actually good period piece or a straight up fantasy movie? Perhaps. I can't tell. I don't have nostalgia for this and I can't reconcile with the faults of this series. Although I find it funny how both me as a fan of Avatar and you Harry Potter fans got a precious thing ruined by a shitty spin-off set in the 1920s. We'd had that happen twice in the span of 4 years, eh?
I'm the Avatar! You gotta deal with it!
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for you. Hate!
Anyway. In the end, if I had to summarize my Harry Potter experience, I am left thinking that it's basically 3 movies worth of plot, with a TV series worth of side fuckery put into 20 hours, resulting in shitty pacing. That, plus the holes and JK Rowling's retcons and bad writing, leave me feeling terrible. That's the basic gist. It certainly wasn't a magical experience, that's for sure. There's a lot more to it though, like how if I had been in charge of Harry Potter, I would have liked for those 3 hypothetical movies to each revolve around Draco, Harry, and Neville respectively, and then have their stories merge at the end, but that's too much, I think. Definitely. Just know that I don't hate kids movies. Or teenager movies, I guess. In fact, I could easily point you to a lot more fulfilling movies, fully committed to just being one thing, that are kind of in the same category, even besides Sky High. The Percy Jackson ones, the first Narnia, Matilda. That one has Danny DeVito in it.
What is this trash you're reading?
It's called Moby Dick by Herman Melville.
Moby what?
Instead of the third one, you could watch Monster Squad, Silver Bullet, or Jin just now's 1 or 2.
You'll have to protect against both pregnancy and STDs now. Play safe.
Big Fish, that's another good pick. That one is Danny DeVito as a werewolf in it.
Didn't kill anything, did I?
And if you like stuff that's also not the best, according to some people, but is actually fun, has actual character, and has a similar aesthetic to Harry Health Points Potter, the Addams Family movies are gonna blow your mind, believe me.
The Cabbage Patch and the diamond turned into a baby.
Our parents are having a baby too. They had sex.
And instead of the 5th one, you could always watch that episode of Recess with Himmler in it. But if you really just want to torture yourself, or just be part of a, let's be honest, kind of old and not very worthwhile fandom, then go ahead, watch these. Tell me about how Severing Snake is secretly a Shakespearean tragedy wearing the cloak of a shittily written, underused character supported by all the headcanons you like. But I'd rather have something more fun, brief, elegantly put together, and definitely less through and through fucking British. But then again, maybe this is all just a giant film theory. And cut! I'm sorry for this kind of different video than I usually make, because I usually like to be at least somewhat more fair, but like, I watched fucking 20 hours of this bullshit. Please subscribe, by the way, as it would really help me to keep going. Whether or not you agree with me, I would really like to hear your feedback. This video started initially as a different kind of experiment with Daniel, someone else, and me getting together to do a Panth cast on our opinions on this franchise, but unfortunately that third person bailed on me and blocked me on Discord without warning, presumably in fear of me tearing down this cornerstone of British culture, infecting her brain with my superior arguments. Honestly, I don't know, and it really hurt my feelings. Anyway, so that struck a nerve, and I, not wanting to let this die, turned it into this. I hope it was worth it in your eyes, and again, super thanks to Procrastiterra and the people whose material I used in this video. I hope you stick around for the stuff I want to do in the future, and have a generic YouTuber outro-tastic day. Harry Potter is an Italian American now.
No, he is not.
Giuseppe Stromboli and the briefcase of meatballs.